Hello, BookTube. I'm Peg, the book prize addict, and I have a lot of bookish reports for you today. The first, welcome to my channel, and I'm going to be talking about the COSTA award, which is there's been much talk about, and I'm here to report on what it is. First, I need to tell you that this is the last video I'll be making in this locality, and I'll be at another place in a week or so. Since my husband and I are both retired, we're able to go south for 3 or 4 months in the winter and enjoy some little warmer weather than it is here in Pennsylvania. Now, I don't want you to think that because I have a flowery necklace on that I don't want you to picture me laying on some beach somewhere, sipping whatever they sip on beaches, reading under an umbrella. First of all, no, that's not going to happen. I don't like the beach. It's too sandy. Ooh, I've never been a beach lover. And also, anywhere on the East Coast beach this time of year is super expensive. So we actually will be going to staying in a very small place in a small town in South Carolina, at least like over an hour's drive from any beach. My life there doesn't really change much. I do have one bookcase there and a good reading chair, and of course I take a lot of books, and thank goodness for Kindle, and they have a library there. I still spend most of my time reading, but the best part is it doesn't, well, usually doesn't ever snow there, and I can take my much beloved long walks outdoors every day. That's really a must. The other must in my life besides reading is taking a walk. It clears my mind and really enables me to read a lot more and enjoy it a lot more. Okay, well, I said it didn't snow there, but it's inland from Charleston, South Carolina, where we'll be staying, and they were hit by the same snowstorm that hit Charleston, South Carolina. This is a picture of it this morning in the paper. Nothing like snow on palm trees. And so where we'll be going, there may be snow, but anyway, hopefully it'll take us a few days to get there, so the snow will be gone and it'll be sunny again. The other problem getting there is the cat. You know that you've seen my cat, not the most cooperative cat in the world, and there's nothing like trying to get a cat in a car and go like 600 miles with it. Anyway, well, next time you see me, I'll be there with cat and with husband, hopefully. Okay, so let's get on to the COSTA Prize, which was awarded on the 2nd, on Tuesday. And I'll just talk about the 2 novel categories that I was interested in, and kind of give you my views and tell you who won, etc., if you haven't already found out. First of all, I want to say the COSTA Prize has really gained in popularity this year. As I've mentioned before, I spent a lot of time reading the Mooks and Gripes forum. It's a group on Goodreads that is almost completely devoted to the different prizes that come up through the year, the different book prizes, and has a lot of people giving their reviews and talking about it. And it's, of course, my favorite reading activity with each prize is to read what people think and report on it. So before, it was hardly even mentioned in the forum in the prior years, but this year it has just blown up. I mean, there's a huge amount of comments, which I love reading. And I have to attribute this to BookTube, because one of the judges on the best debut novel was the famous Simon Savage, a booktuber and longtime blogger, and he has been talking about this prize to his thousands of subscribers all for the last 5 or 6 months as he read through the debut ones, and he has several really good videos just up since it's been awarded. But I can't help but think all that BookTube and his channel has really given an audience, much bigger audience to this prize, which is great. Okay, so let's get on to the two prizes. I talked about the best novel prize and the contenders in my last video, so I won't go through all of those. I'll go through the two that, from all the reading I did, were the most favored to read, to win. Okay, the first one was Home Fire. It's not been out too long, dealing with two Pakistani immigrant families in London and their travels, and there's some jihadist action, and it was really a very good story based on the Antigone play. Okay, and a lot of people thought it should win. I will say that the only criteria that we knew about or you could read about was that this prize would be based on the most enjoyable book. And I have to say it was the most enjoyable in my mind. The one that did win, and many people's favorite, is Reservoir 13, which is an excellent book, but it's almost a case of the right book winning the wrong prize. Was also listed on the Man Booker Prize and for the Goldsmiths Prize, which is for experimental novels, and many people thought it should have won either or both of those. It is written in a more, as I said, experimental method. It deals a lot with the number 13, and the more I've read, I read an article about the guy that wrote it, did a lot with 13 when he was planning the book. I won't say how he did it, but you can find it if you look it up. But it becomes the more interesting the more you see what he put into it. And I definitely think this is the most literary of the books, but I'm not sure it was the most enjoyable. As I said, I think it's a case of a great book winning the wrong prize, but so what? People aren't too upset because it's been mentioned that Home Fire will surely be perhaps nominated to be on the Women's Prize, which used to be the Bailey's Prize, which is coming up in a month or so. Okay, so there wasn't too much disgruntlement about that one, but wait till you hear about the next one. The next one is the best debut novel. And I'll go through them from all the reading I did. I'll go through them in the order that were the most favorite from all the comments and reviews I read. The first most favored was Montpelier Parade, and it's a kind of a coming of age story of a young man who lives in a kind of problematic family situation and his affair with an older woman. It has some beautiful writing in it, and was really, The Guardian called it pitch perfect. The next one it seemed in people's opinion was The Clocks in the House All Tell Different Times. Now this is a very unusual story. Takes place right after World War I in England, and has some damaged soldiers that live in the forest somewhere and take the names of characters from The Wizard of Oz, and a group of children goes to visit them, and it's just very unusual and evocative of a very kind of black fairy tale kind of feeling. Okay, the next in the favored was The Haunting of Henry Twist, and I love that cover. That would be great for a cover of a mystery, I would think. Okay, it actually involves a man who loses his young pregnant wife in a kind of freak accident, and the aftermath of that, he actually is kind of haunted with this character that comes out. Okay, and the very last that most people wanted the least to win is what won. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. It deals with a woman, young middle age, I'd say, who lives a very lonely, secluded life. She does have a job, but she doesn't really talk to anybody there, and goes home and spends all her time alone. And her method of, we find out in this why she's like that, and what changes her somewhat. A lot of people thought it was a little bit unrealistic how she was able to get well quickly or from the problems that she had faced. And it just didn't seem to be anybody's favorite but the judges, I guess. Okay, so if you want to read more about it, take a look at that Mooks and Gripes group on Goodreads, and it's good to join them because all the prizes that are coming up that I'll be talking about will be on there. So I'll be back in a week or so from a different place and hopefully warmer. As I said, it's a very small place that we'll be staying in a small town, but I do have a bookcase and I'll just be able to take my iPad with me, so things aren't really going to be much different there. Okay, happy winter. See you soon. Bye.